here with Alexa Meade. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm a little bit jet lagged. I just came in from California.
Okay, so what are you doing in California?
I have my studio currently located in Los Angeles, but I'm constantly traveling the world, and so I'm not in LA really any more than I am anywhere else, but that's where I'm calling home right now.
So can you tell me what exactly it is that you do? You're a painter, correct?
I'm a painter, but not in the traditional sense. Instead of painting on canvas, I actually paint on top of objects, people, and I don't just paint a pretty pattern or paint them to camouflage in with something else. I paint a copy of them on top of themselves. So like if I wanted to paint this table right here, I would put brown paint on top of this in a wood grain pattern to mimic the table. And in this way of covering objects and people in a mask of paint that mimics what's below, I'm able to make it look like a two-dimensional painting when photographed. So it creates this optical illusion effect.
Okay, so can you tell me how you began to paint? Like, did you start when you were like a little girl, and did you have like painting school, or how exactly did you start painting?
I really liked making art when I was a kid, and I especially liked painting, but I got really frustrated around the time that I was 16 because I was overly perfectionistic with my work, and I could never finish anything. So then I took a break from painting, and then I was struck with this idea for putting like a shadow down on top of a shadow, and I thought that I could achieve that by putting black paint down on the shadows. And then I started painting colors on top of colors, and all of a sudden, before I knew it, I was painting again. But I wasn't painting in the way I had known it before. It was very much based upon space. And to avoid the problems that I had fallen into before when I was a teenager with being overly perfectionistic, I decided that I would paint on subjects that would be very short-lived. So it would be like food or people, something that over the course of a day it would break down, and I would be forced to work very much in the moment and intuitively.
So how did you start to, I guess, pursue painting like as a career? Did you know that you wanted to do that from like the beginning?
I'd actually studied political science, and I'd worked on political campaigns and on Capitol Hill, and I'd really thought that that was going to be my career path. It was something I was passionate about, but I'd always dreamed of being an artist, but I thought that wasn't a feasible career option. And it seemed a lot easier to go for something where you could find a specific job, you'd have health insurance. And so I hadn't really considered the option of being an artist. And then when I graduated from college, I decided that, this was my time to actually see if I could make it happen. And I made it my job to teach myself how to paint in this style, and also learning not just how to make art, but what it means to be an artist. So I spent a lot of time interviewing artists who I admired, asking them questions, how do they get started, and what is their day-to-day work like. And I really learned a lot during that period, which has shaped the way I view my art career.
So how did you start to get, I guess, popular with your paintings? Like, what exactly did you do? Was it just when you started to paint on top of people that you started to get, more popular, or how did that come about?
Yeah, so after I graduated from college, I decided that, I really wanted to pursue this passion of being an artist. I was networking a lot, and I was showing my artwork to a lot of other artists and people whose opinions I respected, and in that way I started actually getting some shows locally in Washington, D.C., in my hometown. But I really got my big break when somebody posted a small comment on a blog about, it was a blog post about body painting, and in the comments they said, you should check out Alexa Meade's work, and there was a link to my website. And then the next day, the blogger ran a photo of my artwork and just a link to my website. It wasn't an article or anything. It was just a caption. And then from there, it went totally viral overnight. I was on CNN and the Today shows all over the world from just this one little comment on a blog. And it was a really crazy period of tons of things flying my way. But I feel really fortunate that I've actually been able to sustain this level of interest in this since then. And it's just been growing, and it's really afforded me the opportunity to focus on pursuing my passion.
So what would be the pros and cons of being a painter, for a career? Because I know some people, they paint as a hobby, and some people, they're really good at it, but then some people, they don't want to pursue it as a career. So the pros and cons of being a professional painter.
Yeah, well, I should first say, too, that I don't necessarily classify myself as a painter, more an interdisciplinary artist, but in terms of pros and cons of being an artist, my lifestyle is really unique because I don't have anywhere that I need to be at a certain time. I don't show up for a job every day at 9 o'clock. Instead, I show up at my studio. And it's amazing flexibility. I work when I'm inspired, and when I'm inspired, I might, work 24 hours straight.
So, can you tell me what you're working on next?
I'm working on some different side projects in the studio. A lot of them have to do with perception and questioning reality, but they don't actually have to do with paint or portraiture. A lot of it relies very much upon light and shadow and perceptions of space.
So, can you give some advice to young, I guess, not just painters, but creative people in general that want to do what you're doing?
It's really helpful to talk to people that whose work you respect and admire, and to seek out mentors, because building a community is so important, and being able to get honest feedback on your work, not just, your parents going, oh, that's so great, or your parents saying, throw that away, you shouldn't be an artist or musician, but people whose taste level you respect and can really help you push yourself to go farther than you, at the present moment, know you're capable of.
So 3 things that your fans don't know about you.
3 things. I was born with bright red hair. My stairs at my house are painted like a rainbow. And let's see. My favorite food is raspberries.
Something that you would like your fans to know before we close out?
That is a really good question. Something I'd like them to know. I would say that sometimes it's good to leave questions open and not provide answers. So my answer to that is a non-answer, and to know that there are questions out there larger than their answers.